Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Astrology News Report, an alternate view of world events as seen through the lens of Vedic astrology. Presented by yours truly, Ron Berger. Today is April 12th, 2015. So let's take a look at the week that was and how the planets' positions in the zodiac matched up with the past week's events. Last week was especially notable for severe punishments being dealt out for the failure to heed authority. Another unarmed African American was gunned down by a white police officer, this time in South Carolina. And that was followed later in the week by the beating of a horse thief out in the bush by a team of 10 California sheriff's deputies. Saturn is the planet of punishment, and when it is in Scorpio, the punishments become vindictive. The officers were exacting punishment out of their own anger and frustration at being disobeyed. Let's also note that Saturn in Scorpio puts it in the 12th house of the United States chart, a sector of the chart that signifies tyranny, hidden actions, murders, assassination, and persecution by the government. Saturn will be in this sector of the USA chart for nearly another 2 more years. In both cases last week, the unexpected presence of someone taking a video of the action and making it public made all the difference in making the evil deeds of the law enforcement officers available to everyone's attention. Mercury is the planet of communications and the media, and last week it was, together with Uranus, the planet of the unusual, the unexpected, and shocking events. The build-up to the 2016 United States elections got a boost last week with the official announcements of 2 of the contenders, Rand Paul on the Republican side and Hillary Clinton for the Democrats. What are Rand Paul's chances? Well, one way to predict what would be to look at the chart of the official start of his campaign. Tuesday, April 7th, at 12:15 p.m., Louisville, Kentucky. Here's the chart. So this looks interesting. Gemini, the sign of ideas and reasons, is the rising sign, and its ruler, Mercury, is in the 10th house of public actions, with the planet of rebellion, Uranus. To stand out, Rand Paul is going to have to make controversial statements for sure. And how about Mrs. Clinton? Her official announcement came a little after 3 p.m. New York time on Sunday. Here's the chart. So, we have Leo rising, the sign of royalty and rulership, which seems appropriate for a budding dynasty. Then see that the moon is in the 6th house of enemies and defense, indicating a fight. And notice that the moon is in Uttara Ashada Nakshatra, a lunar sign whose name translates as the ultimate victor. Then there's Venus, strong in its own sign, in the 10th house of success, indicating success with females. No mystery about that. Going a little further to some of the other features of the chart, see that Jupiter, in its sign of exaltation, is in the 12th house of the unknown. Translation, help from an unknown quarter. Of course, she will be raising a lot of money. And note that Venus in the 10th house is a signification of good conduct in public. Hopefully she will try to stay out of the gutter when the mudslinging begins, as it already has from the Republicans. But there is a major problem shown here in the chart. The ruler of the chart, the Sun, is in the 8th house, the house of chronic problems. And it is with Uranus, the planet of the unexpected. So this is not good. It shows that there will be dirt dug up on her, and it will be hard to get rid of. I'll be doing more analysis of Hillary Clinton's prospects for 2016 in an upcoming special segment in the not-too-distant future. Okay, one more thing. Note that now that Mercury has entered Aries and joined up with Mars, that we have the planet of speech and the media together with the planet of combat. The next couple of weeks are likely to see people being outspoken and some pretty intense verbal fisticuffs. Well, no sooner had I thought that when up pops Pope Francis, and I guess, wanting to make some headway with the Armenians, he lets go with both barrels on Turkey at Sunday's Mass. A sore spot in Armenian history is the World War I era massacre of their people at the hands of the Ottoman Turks. The Pope used the word genocide in his sermon, which for Turkey is an absolute no-no. Turkey promptly recalled their Vatican ambassador. We'll see more of this sort of Mars-Mercury connection in the upcoming days for sure. Well, that's all the time I have for this week's Review of the Week, but I'll be back with more next week. You can keep up with daily astrological developments and contribute your own thoughts by following me on Twitter at Astro News Report.